What up, what up? Hey, everybody.
One more time.
No.
Oh, my God.
I just drooled
All right, listen, people.
over myself.
We're a fucking hot mess.
Welcome to my podcast. I got some guests here tonight. It's going to be a little crazy because there's 4 of us. It's not just me, Ashley, but I got that dumbass over there, Lexi, who freaking trying to speak Spanish or something right now.
She's trying, Antonio Bandera.
I got my girl Becky over here in the corner just enjoying her rum and coke and a night free of children. Go girl. And then we got Tara over here. Now, Tara y'all already know about because she had a couple podcasts with me. She is a hoot and a mess, and you know what? I love you, girl, but I'm worried.
Stop it. We cannot share this.
It's
All right, so check this out. Tonight,
What about me?
so I already introduced you.
You were the first one.
Like,
Fucking princess.
this is what happens when you do a podcast after work hours and you give someone a spiked seltzer drink. I mean, and they're not ready to handle
Put
it.
too much salt in my drink.
All right, so let's be real. We are going to talk about something serious tonight. It is going to be about, we're going to start off with the outrage culture. These hooligans over here have some shit to say. So we're talking about being offended, because right now I'm freaking offended. Lexi is sitting across from me, literally making fun of everything that I'm saying. Like, literally.
She's not making fun of you.
She is ragging me,
She's
girl.
not ragging you.
Like a rag doll.
Okay.
Do
So,
we call her Andy?
should I be offended? Should I go to the courthouse and be like, I'm suing these bitches because they made fun of me when I was trying to have a serious podcast?
Oh, look, I like your
Right?
approach.
So, like, let's think about it, because that's what's happening now, right? Everybody's just running around like, oh my God, you
What's
stepped
it
on my
called?
toe, I'm going to
What's that
sue
shit
you.
called?
Outrage culture.
Correct.
So, I'm going to start.
500.
I'm going to start with one of you girls. We're going to talk about your experience with being offended. And, like, what do you think, like, is worth doing something about and what's worth just ignoring and moving on and, like, coping in your own way without affecting the other person.
Negative Ghost Rider.
Okay,
Okay,
Ghost
that'll
Rider.
work.
Tara's up. She's got something to say. Let's go, girl.
That is just the wrong approach. That's what I'm going to say about that.
Correct.
What do you mean by the wrong approach?
You're going to make me think now. I don't forgot what you said.
All right, so outrage culture.
Thinking cap.
We're talking about being offended. So, for example, I'll start off then. Like, so me and Tara had this little moment at work, and, like, she came up to me trying to be a friend and tell me, you know, that I did something wrong, and I snapped, kind of blew my lid a little bit. Yeah, girl, she's holding my hand right now. Shit is real. So, you know, we had a little moment. It's like, look, we're friends. Do I need to kiss your hand?
Kiss my
like,
hand.
That's too far
Kiss
from
me.
you.
That's beautiful. That was so beautiful.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
Oh,
Adorable.
Okay, we'll talk about peer pressure in the next episode.
We're going to pause this video. We'll be right back.
Alright, but, like, my thing is exactly, so part of working together and having a life, like a real life, you can't be just like, you can't freak out about that stuff. I can't be like, okay, Tara, like, this happened, we both were at odds for, like, 5 minutes, and it's like, this girl's my friend. Like, I'm not going to
Amigos.
sit there and just be, like, let her be offended and then me be offended. No. You squash it in a way that's passive. You don't always need to, like, make a scene, write a paper about it, tell the mayor. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like that keeps happening in our culture as we keep trying to make something huge out of something that means nothing and that can
It's called
easily be...
making issues where there are none.
Right on. And I'm sure we've all experienced that.
Oh, yeah. It's in life daily.
Right.
Unless you sit home 24/7, and even then you're watching TV and you're exposed to it.
But you got to think about people who'd be listening to this and be like us, you know, who are maybe going through that. What if you were that person who's in that level of life? They're just so offended by everything. Offended by people wearing a Trump hat if you don't like Trump. Offended by people wearing an Obama shirt if you don't like Obama. Offended by people. It's like, and I told my son this. I'm like, that's offensive as well.
Fuck you.
Ma'am.
How?
I
How
mean,
is that offensive?
Yeah,
totally
believe
offensive.
me.
Tell me how.
Because
Because why?
we're not all Japanese, okay?
That's so horrible.
In the Japanese culture,
You can do that? I thought you were about to say
burping.
You can do that?
Burping is good manners only in the Japanese culture. And
I
you're not
knew
Japanese.
You might be from
The United
Africa,
States-
but I'm from Japan.
No.
So,
She okay.
konnichiwa.
For the record, she doesn't know what konnichiwa
That is Lexi, by the way. That's Lexi.
Mhm.
Lexi and Ashley.
Actually, sorry.
All right, so what do you consider an offense? I'm talking to Becky right now, my girl.
Oh, God, I gotta
Like
think.
something that is offensive that's worth doing something about. Like, what is something in your life you would say, like, no, now's where I would have to act?
I don't know, because, I mean, I've been bullied before, and I just kind of let it go and don't let it bother me.
Right.
And then I found out that those people that bullied me ended up becoming friends of mine, because they're like,
Right.
oh, she is pretty cool after all. Like, because they want you to...
Yeah.
They want you to, like, get hurt by it and act out on it. Like, they feed off that.
Exactly. So it's
And
almost
if
like
you walk
necessary
away,
to be calm.
Yeah.
Because look, these people are people. Like
Right, I-
even a bully is still a human being, just in the wrong state of mind. And I think it's
Right.
like our responsibility to be like, hey, don't have that state of mind, or even like you can't always talk to people.
Oh,
But that's what I mean. Sometimes just like ignoring them and just moving on your own self
yeah.
is the solution to the
Sometimes
problem.
just taking, like, 5 minutes off to the side just to kind of breathe and regroup yourself.
Not be
is,
so upset.
Exactly. And then you're like, well, why?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I've gone off on my kids. I've had bad days where I went off on them and I felt bad for them and I've said stuff that hurt their feelings. And I felt awful about it after that happened. But it was just that heat of the moment, just, all the anger.
But I
and
feel
stuff.
like that is actually an example of something that's necessary. So, like, you should be offended when your kid looks at you
Oh, yeah.
and is disrespectful.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? Because there's a difference between,
That's
like-
the one thing I hate is seeing kids being disrespectful to their parents. Like,
yeah.
I was very disrespectful in my high school years. Like, my parents probably should have put me in jail. I mean, I was horrible. But
I was good.
good job.
Bullshit, Lexi. But
I
keep
swear,
talking.
I
Lexi.
was bullied. My dad one time.
Yeah. We talked about that
Dad,
last
can I
podcast.
tell him about the story?
Is that really?
Her dad,
When I
put him
was
on
bullied.
speaker. We got Lexi's dad in on this podcast.
All right,
tonight.
Dad, you're on the pod.
He's here to vouch for Lexi's story that she was bullied.
What, Dad?
Nobody bullies my children.
That's right.
Good.
That's a good dad.
That's good, Dad.
But let's be real, Pappy.
Pappy.
Oh my God.
Let's be real.
No, I was bullied one time, and my dad was very angry.
What'd you do to him?
Clearly nothing. He's
What'd
not
you
gonna
do to
admit
the
anything.
guys that were bullying your daughter? What'd you say?
Stop the bullying.
What'd you...
What? Dad, what did you do to the kid when we went up to the school?
There's no telling.
He don't remember. Dementia setting in right now.
Well, I can tell you that at the ballpark, when one of the kids bullied one of our T-ballers, my best friend I coached with slammed his head into the telephone pole, and the kid was about 15 probably.
That's good. Dad, what the heck?
You don't bully his children either.
No.
You know what? I'm with you.
I shouldn't bully at all.
But we're talking about real bullying. What do you consider real bullying? Because nowadays kids think that if they get called stupid, that means they're being bullied. But like a real bully is somebody that
My dad
tries
is
to
probably
hurt
like,
you.
What the heck?
He probably hung up.
Look, he's like, yeah.
That's when you.
Hey, I like your snaps, Mr. Parker.
That's Spider-Man is her dad. So
Yes.
everybody meet Spider-Man.
Dad.
Say
No,
hey,
I
Mr.
saw
Parker.
the country cowboy with that long, thick mustache and that hat.
He's a country version of Spider-Man. Let's be real. Listen, Spider-Man, we love you. Thanks for being on as a guest. All right, so we're gonna get back to like the real issues. We're gonna talk about
these podcasts.
Good. Hey, Mr. Parker, Spider-Man, supports my podcast with these ladies who are amazing. And let me tell you right now,
I told you we were.
we all have our
Seriously, this is where
different
the money's
perspectives on life. But like my thing is there's no like outrage here because we're all like on the
at.
same
I'm really glad.
level of
I know that
maturity.
might have been a little
We all get offended with each other. We all have our issues, but we stop and we think about it and we try to correct it. And I really believe that. And I think that that's something that's missing in the younger generation. Not all of them, but it is missing. So,
Yeah, not all of them because we got a 24-year-old.
but even,
Right.
yeah, she's
Right.
just, that's Lexi we're talking about. Tara was just telling us, reminding us how young she is. She's sitting there telling her daddy she loves him. It's
Her
so
daddy is
sweet.
Spider-Man.
Obviously.
by the way.
All right, I love you.
Best
Love
dad
you.
ever.
Yep. Sorry, guys.
Until he slings a web around your boyfriend and just like, you ain't going nowhere.
No, but on a real note, I had this guy. 2 guys bully me. I'd come home from school. They'd throw rocks at me. And I told my dad about it. And he, instead of me walking all the way to my house, he waited at the end of the sidewalk for the boys to come down. And yeah, he went a little too hard on them. It was pretty bad. I was scared. But I think he was so raged,
Yeah.
Nobody wants to see
Heck
their
yeah.
see their kids go through that. Like he just said, nobody bullies my children.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, he took that kid and he yelled at him like he was his own age. It was bad. But yeah, no, it's not okay.
Yeah.
So I know Tara has an example of being bullied by an adult just because, and it's not going to be like names or anything, or I'm not going to tell her situation out on the podcast like this, but I'm just saying like when somebody who's an adult comes at you in your life and attacks your children and you, it's even more serious. Mm-hmm. I mean, imagine what you do to kids, but when an adult comes after you in your own well-being, like that's when like you literally hit a different level of survival. You almost go crazy. It's like that mama bear syndrome. Like, you don't mess with me. Like, that's real outrage. That's real stuff to be offended about. Somebody tries to threaten my kids or my own life, then I'm going to go somewhere. I'm going to start taking action. But that's not what's happening. Now everybody's just offended about literally the socks that you're stinking wearing. And they're taking anxiety medication for it. They're like, I can't handle life because I have this nice house and this nice car and I have no bills and my mom pays everything. But I can't handle it because I have anxiety. And you're like, what? Like, let's talk real anxiety here. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, where you wake up and you're like, think you're having a heart attack and you take yourself down to the emergency room and you feel like a crazy person and they're treating you like a crazy person and they're like, there's nothing wrong with you. And you're like, you go home, you take a seat and you're like, wow, like, have I lost my mind? No. We all know. Everybody's shaking their head right now. No, because we've all been there. Like, you literally think there's something is physically happening to you. So we got to talk about that because people need to learn how to handle it.
Yeah, I never knew what it was until I felt like there was like a 500-pound lady sitting on my chest and I could not release the pressure at all. I mean, I believe in it. They labeled anxiety. That's what it's called. Okay. But I think a lot of it stems from me being an overthinker. I will make a little problem and turn it into a big one. I'll turn something positive and turn it into a negative. In any way that I can. That's something that I have to work on, but I create a lot of anxiety and I do it to myself.
And that's Lexi is part of being young as well.
Mm-hmm.
But I think
just the stress of life and
but learning how to handle it is really important.
I'm at an age where it's like I'm finally opening my eyes to how everything is going to be in this world. I grew up thinking life is nothing like it is right now.
Right, and you're coming to terms with it.
Right,
That is your
and trying
age.
to cope with how I'm going to do this and
like it's not
get by
a fairy tale. And
right.
it is scary.
I mean, I'm still single, and a lot of it is like, holy shit. I always told myself I'd have a kid by 25. So anybody, if you know,
better get busy.
I'm only 24.
Yeah, got it.
You got 9.